Hi, my name is Ryan, and in this video we'll be creating this simple image hover effect in CSS. So let's start working on it. I'll go to my index.html file. Inside the body section, I'm going to add a div element with the class of container. And within this div element, I'm going to add an image. I'll be pulling this image from Unsplash. So I'll say https colon / unsplash .it. This image is going to have a height of 400 pixel and a width of 400 pixel. So let's have a look at it in the browser. So here I have an image of a person in a restaurant. Let's give it an alt tag. So inside this container, I'll also be adding another development with the class of overlay. So I'll say dot overlay, and within this development with the class of overlay, I'll add a final class with the name of text. And finally, I'll be adding some text. So that's all we need for the HTML. Now let's move on to our CSS. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to target the class container. I'll give it a height of 400 pixel. I'll give it a width of 400 pixel, and I'll position it at the center of the document. So I'll say position absolute. It's going to be at a distance of 50% from the top, 50% from the left, and finally I'll use the transform property. Negative 50% on the x-axis and negative 50% on the y-axis. So let's have a look at it in the browser. So here we have the image and the container at the center of the screen. Now we need to target the class overlay. So let's do that. I'll say overlay. I'll give this a height of 400 pixel and a width of 400 pixel, and I'll give it a background color of RGBA 255 for the red, 0 for the green, 0 for blue, and the alpha channel is going to be 0.7. So let's have a look at it in the browser now. So here the overlay is positioned right now at the bottom of the image. We need to position this overlay inside the container and over this image. So let's do that. I'll give this a position of absolute, and I'll position it at a distance of 0 from the top. Now if we go in the browser, we'll see that the overlay is now just above the image, but we don't want it this way. We want the overlay to slide in from the right. So we need to position it at a distance of 400 pixel from the left. So let's do that. I'll say left 400 pixel. So now the overlay is positioned at a distance of 400 pixel from the left. Now let's add in some hover effect. I'll say container hover overlay, and I'll set it to left 0. So all I'm trying to say is when I hover over the container, I want the overlay to come back to its original position, which is 0 from the left. That means I want the overlay to come back on the image. So let's do that. So here if you see, when I hover over the container, the overlay is just coming above the image. So let's add in some transition in order to give it a smooth effect. So I'll come to the initial state of overlay, and I'll say transition property. I want the left property to be transitioned, and I'll add in the transition duration of 0.5 seconds. So let's have a look at it. Now we have a smooth transition. The overlay is smoothly coming on to the image. But we want to hide the overlay when it is outside the container. So all you need to do is go to the parent element, which is the container right here, and say overflow hidden. Let's go to our browser now. And here you can see the overlay is hidden when we're not hovering over the image. And finally, when you hover over the image, the overlay can be seen moving from the right to the left. Finally, all we need to do is style this text, and in order to do that, we need to target the text class. So let's do that. I'll come back to my CSS file, and down here I'm going to target the text class. I'll set the font size to 2em and the color will be white, which is 3fs. Let's go to our browser, and here we have some white text. Now let's center this text inside the overlay. In order to center the text, I'll come to the parent element, which is the overlay class, and I'll use a few flexbox properties. First, I'm going to say display flex, and I'm going to say justify content center. Now as you can see, the text is in the center but not actually vertically centered. So in order to do that, we need to add one final flexbox property, and that is align items center. So finally, we have the text which is centered vertically and horizontally, and that is it. It was quite simple, wasn't it? So that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, bye bye.